Hey guys, and welcome back to Two Girls.
One mukbang. I'm Bears.
And I'm Butters, and thank you guys so much for coming by tonight. Tonight, we're doing something really special. We're doing a recipe vlog, Bears Bearinara sauce.
And if you haven't already, please hit that like
And subscribe button.
notification bell.
Ding, ding, ding.
We'd really appreciate it. Now on to the recipe.
Let's get going.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, this is Bears, and I am going to show you how to do the spice mixture for the meat sauce. So, first things first, I like to make the spice mixture and get that ready to go before I get onions or garlic or meat, anything going. This is always my first step when doing a sauce. So, I wanted to show you something simple that wasn't too complicated, that any person that has a busy life could do this recipe at home and still taste like better than a restaurant quality sauce. So first of all, I'm going to point out what the ingredients are, and then I will show you how much I put in them. So first we have off here onion powder, we have regular black pepper that's already ground, we have orange peel, crushed red pepper, organic marjoram, rosemary, basil, oregano, fennel, thyme, garlic salt, and regular salt. You don't have to use Himalayan salt, you can use regular salt, it doesn't really matter. That's the salt that we use here in our household. And then it's important to have all of the measuring spoons ready to go. We have our quarter, half, 1 teaspoon, and 1 tablespoon. So it's all ready to go. You can use a mortar and pestle. But you can also use a grinder. You can use a coffee grinder, which I wouldn't suggest because your food's probably going to taste like coffee. But this is our designated spice grinder that we really like to use. It was only like maybe $12 on Amazon. It's great. It's easy to wash out. You put a little top on and you grind it for a while. You shake it up and you're good to go. So we're going to show you the amounts right now so you can see what's going on up in here. Now the first thing I'm going to put in is onion powder. I find onion powder is amazing in almost everything. If you want that onion flavor, I use real onions and onion powder, it's great. So right here we've got 1 tablespoon to start with onion powder, and I'm going to put 1 more tablespoon in. There we go, so you got 2 tablespoons of onion powder in there. So first I'm going to start off with 1 teaspoon. In here, see how that looks? That looks pretty good. 1 teaspoon to start. And like I said, if you are cooking it and you taste it and you think it's not salty enough, add more salt. It's not a problem. You just cannot take it out. So it's important to start with a little bit, and I like to start with 1 teaspoon because I find garlic salt is very strong. You can also add regular salt, which I do. Now the amount, I'm going to do a bunch of cranks and we're going to see. 1, 2, that was actually 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 cranks on here. When I'm looking at it, it's going to equal about half a teaspoon. I can already tell right now. Half a teaspoon. 20 cranks. Next, we're going to use black pepper. You can grind it yourself. You can already get it ground. Whatever you like. So I'm going to use a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Next we have rosemary, which you can use or not use, but I find it has a nice flavor. Now rosemary is a very potent spice. If you overuse it, it will overtake your entire dish. So I suggest you start out small and add as you need. Do not over rosemary it, or your entire dish will taste like nothing but rosemary. So I'm going to start off with just a little under a quarter, about a quarter of a teaspoon. Just to give it an underlying flavor of it, but not overtake the dish. Next, orange peel. Also, not necessary or maybe even traditional, but me personally, I like citrus flavors in certain types of food, and I find it gives a really nice note of citrus in the food. So I'm going to start off with a quarter of a teaspoon. There we go. Just an underlying hint. It's not going to overtake the dish of like, oh god, it tastes like orange. You wouldn't even probably be able to even pick it out if you didn't know what it was. It just gives it a nice hint of citrus.
Next, we have fennel seeds, which if you smell it guys, it smells like black licorice. That's what it smells like. It's delicious. It's used in Italian sausages all the time. People usually don't know what a certain flavor is. It is usually in sausage is fennel. So here it's not also another strong flavor, so you don't want to overuse it, but it's super delicious. I wouldn't recommend putting it in the food straight up without grinding, so you're going to definitely want a grinder if you're using fennel. I'm going to start off with a 1/4 teaspoon. Here we go. About a heaping 1/4 teaspoon. Yep, just to give it some nice flavor. That's also a strong spice, so don't overuse it. 1/4 teaspoon should be plenty. Next, we have majoram. Some people say marjoram, some people say majoram, like tomato, tomato, potato, potato, whatever floats your boat. This is also a great spice flavoring that I like as well. So here I'm going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon of majoram. Next, we have red pepper flake. Now, this is all up to you. Some people love spicy, some people can't stand spicy. If you don't like spicy food and you have a very sensitive palate to spices, I would definitely recommend not using this. But if you are okay with spicy, you can use as much as you want of this. Personally, for me, I'm going to use about a 1/4 teaspoon in there just to give it a little bit of heat, but not overdo it. I like spicy food, not necessarily always in my Italian food to be really spicy, but a little bit of spice, a little bit of heat is nice. Next is thyme. So, we're going to put, if you smell it, it's very herbaceous as well. It's very strong. You do not want to overuse thyme. It's very strong as well. I'm going to put 1/4 teaspoon in, and that is it. It's very potent. Next, one of the major seasonings in Italian food, oregano. This, we're going to take about a 1/2 teaspoon to start, a heaping 1/2 teaspoon of your oregano right there. You can add more if you need, but I think a 1/2 teaspoon is going to be plenty, because it is a very strong herb. It is a very strong herb as well. It's got a very medicinal kind of smell to it. And without further ado, the most popular Italian spice I think there's out there is basil. So I like to put a good amount of basil into my spice mixture. I feel like I want to taste a good amount of basil when I'm eating tomato sauce. So I'm going to put oh, it won't fit in there. 1 teaspoon. There you go. 1 teaspoon of basil inside the spice mixture. You can add more if you want. I'll actually add another 1/2 because it's so delicious. So 1½ teaspoons put into this mixture. So as you can see right here, I have all my spices in here. It is ready to grind. It is pretty full. It's at least 3/4 full in here. We've got a lot of delicious Italian spices that are going to be so yummy in this sauce. So I'm going to grind it right now. You're going to see. You're just going to put this little handy dandy top on. Take out this little cord. Looks like a vacuum cord in a way. And then you're going to grind. Okay guys, so we just got this out. Just finished grinding. Here we go. To a fine, beautiful powder. I'm telling you, I wish you guys had smell-o-vision. It is delicious smelling in here. Pour this into a separate bowl. So I have that ready to go for my meat mixture and my sauce mixture when I'm ready. And what that means is getting all your ingredients lined up and ready to go before you start cooking. Because if you don't, things are going to start burning, things are going to start overcooking, you're going to be frustrated. It's better to have all your ingredients ready to go, and then we're ready to rock and roll and cook. Alright guys, see you for the next step. Okay guys, so next step, I have 1 large, medium to large white onion. You can get a small, large, whatever size onion you want, depending on how much onion flavor you like in your food. I personally like it a lot, so this onion's probably a large size white onion. I'm going to peel this back, cut off the ends. Just to let you know, if you don't wear contacts so your eyes cry with onions, dispose of these ends right away. They make you cry worse than any other part of the onion. Just a little helpful hint to the homies. I'm going to slice this baby in half. I'm going to peel the first layer off the top. So basically this onion, you want to dice it. You want it pretty fine. It's going to be roasting for a while in the pan. So you don't want it too thick. So I cut it in half. I sliced it down once, sliced it down twice, the next layer, and now I'm going to do my long line slices here, all the way down. And swish it to the side. And ride it like the ocean, baby. Ride it like the ocean. Gonna give you nice cuts right there. You get close to the end, you turn it the other way. You get close over this way, you turn it this way. Yeah! So you want to do that to your entire onion, get a nice dice on it. So as you can see, I've got half this onion already done. You can see the size of it. You can see the dice of it. I'll put a little bit in my hand so you can see the clearer size of it maybe. There you go. So pretty much a dice on the onion. I'm going to dice the other half up. I'm going to put it in a bowl and I'm going to show you when it's done. So we've got our whole white cut onion diced and ready to go right here. You're going to set that on the side next to your spice mixture. Next, we've got garlic. How can you have a tomato sauce without the beautiful bulb of garlic? So, how do we break this down? Well, I'll show you right now. Tear that mother in half. So, garlic all depends on your liking of garlic. How much you like garlic is how many cloves you use. For this sauce, this will feed us 2 meals each, so 4 meals. So I like to put per meal 1 clove of garlic. So I guess that means we're putting in 4. There we go. There's 2 there. 3. There we go. 4 cloves of garlic. There's a little one. We'll put 5. We'll put 5. So here we have our garlic cloves. They got a bunch of hard crap all over them. You can't just cut them up like this and put them in your food. It'd be like chewing on rocks. So the easiest way I found to deal with these hard garlic cloves is I cut off each end, move that away, and then right here, we're going to do a little smash action. There you go. It's going to smash. You're going to be able to peel the garlic right out of its little protective skin. So this garlic is ready to go now to be chopped, minced, diced, and this garlic clove is ready to be chopped, minced, or diced, however you want it. For today, we're definitely mincing up this garlic. So there's the first clove. We're going to do the rest to the other 4 cloves, and we will be back to show you how that garlic looks. Okay, as you can see here, we've got all these garlic cloves right here, all ready to go. They've got all the skin off. They've been smashed. I've got all the nastiness off them. They are ready to be minced. Here we go. We can just mince them out. I have a garlic press. I actually have a really nice garlic press, but I find that it doesn't press the garlic the way I want to. It's either big chunks or it doesn't get it all out. I don't know. It wasn't a cheap garlic press either, so I just find it tastes better. I'm just an old school kind of girl sometimes with certain things. When it comes to chopping my own garlic, that's one of them for sure. And there we got our 5 cloves of minced garlic, guys. All I'm going to do is put this in a bowl, add this to the list of our other ingredients, and get another layer of our mise en place done to where we can start cooking this dish for you guys. I know you guys want to see it. It's so delicious. Alright guys, now we have all of our ingredients finally together. So we have our
one whole large white onion diced. Then we have our spice mixture, which I already showed you how to make. That's already right here in the bowl. We have 5 cloves of minced garlic right here. Back here we have 3 cans of organic tomato sauce. You can use whatever tomato sauce you want, but I would suggest using plain tomato sauce because we made our own spice mixture, and why waste your time making all that if you're just going to put it into something that already has a bunch of spices that you don't know how strong or not strong the spices are. So I got 3 cans of that. You can also use, which we have used before, San Marzano tomatoes. We just don't have any right now, so we are using the Costco organic tomato sauce. We get 12 cans for $7 or $8, so it's pretty affordable. I think it's $8. Also, you want extra pepper, extra salt, some olive oil, and that is not an exact amount. The olive oil is just to brown your meat and to brown your onions and garlic. And then right here we have our organic ground turkey meat. We get this from Costco as well. This whole thing of meat is super delicious. You can use ground beef, you can use ground turkey, you can use ground pork, whatever meat you want to use that's ground, it will all work out pretty much the same. So those are the ingredients right there. We have them ready to go. I'm going to be using this wok pan. That's my favorite pan for making my meat sauce. And we've got everything ready to go now. Everything is all situated here. We're ready to build our sauce. It's going to be so good, guys.
Alright guys, I got my skillet right here. I'm going to put it on to high. We got the flame going at high. Got it at an 8. So it's not cranked to the max, but it's still pretty high. Here I'm going to put in some olive oil, some EVOO. I'm going to put in about a tablespoon. There we go. About a tablespoon. Wait for that to heat up just a tiny bit, not too much, because olive oil has a very low smoking point, so you don't want to get that too hot. I'm going to swish that around in a circle a little bit. Put that all over the bottom of the pan. Make sure it's nice and hot. Then, we're going to pour our onion in next. Here we got that one whole diced onion. Hear that sizzle? That means your pan is ready. Get all that onion in. I do not like to be wasteful. So you got that onion in here. I'm going to mix that around, get that olive oil worked in. You're going to want to brown these onions till they're about translucent. You don't want them to the point to where they're browning too much. That's not the color we want here in these onions. We want them, right now they're opaque, you can't see through them. You want them translucent to where you can start to see through them a little bit. That's when you're going to want to take them off. So I also am very fond of seasoning each layer. So the first thing I'm going to do is some salt. Himalayan salt, about 8 to 10 grinds of that. You get some pepper. Maybe about 15 grinds of that. And then we're going to start moving this around. Get these spices mixed in. You're going to also want to put the garlic in, but not yet, because garlic tends to cook much faster than onions, so you definitely don't want to brown it too much because garlic becomes bitter when it's overcooked. So you're going to want to cook these onions till about when you have a minute left to cook. So when you start seeing them turn a tiny bit translucent, you say, oh, hold on a minute, time to throw in the garlic. That's when you'll throw in the garlic. So as you can see, these onions have been cooking about 3 to 4 minutes now. I'm definitely seeing them start to turn a tiny bit translucent. So the next step is the 5 cloves of minced garlic. You know this is going to smell amazing. Now, if you want to get yourself laid, I would highly suggest cooking this up for your wife. She's going to love this, or your husband. I don't think women have a problem getting their husbands to get them to get laid, but I think it's more of a man's kind of problem. But anyways, that's besides the point. We're going to stir in this garlic, and you can already smell it. The aromatics of this garlic is second to none. You can just smell it. And you don't want your garlic to be too brown. It will make it super bitter. So you just want to just move it around and keep continuously moving it. You might let it set for 20 seconds, and then I'd start moving it around in the pan again. And as soon as that's done, we're going to take this mixture, put it into a bowl, and take it right off the pan. Because we need this pan for browning the meat, the ground turkey meat. So as soon as this is done and ready to go, when the garlic is just starting to caramelize a little bit, you're just like, okay, I know, the onions are translucent, and the garlic is starting to get a slight tinge of color, but not all brown. So a slight yellowness. Okay guys, this is the color I'm looking for before we're going to take out this onions and garlic. You can see the onions are starting to turn translucent, and the garlic is starting to turn a little bit more yellow. None of it's brown, none of it's burned, but it's starting to turn. Time to get it off into a bowl. Now we've got our onions in a bowl, resting, set aside for a few minutes while we brown the meat. We're going to be putting that back in the meat mixture in a few minutes, which I'll show you that step when it comes along. The next step, I'm going to put olive oil, about 1 tablespoon in the bottom. So now that we have our olive oil in the pan, we're going to turn it on to high, about an 8. Get that oil. The pan should already be pretty warm from the onions. It's fine if there's already a little bit of onion remnants. That's fine. It's all going to go in together anyways. So we're going to get our package of organic ground turkey. Here we go. So we're going to take this. We're going to dump all this meat in. Woo! Now we got this huge chunk of meat in this pan. We're going to let the bottom brown for just a minute. Now, I don't suggest breaking it up right away because it won't break up right away. It's got to cook a little bit first. Now comes in our beautiful spice mixture that we made. We want to use to start 1 tablespoon of this spice mixture that we already made. So we're just going to sprinkle this on top. Not onto the bottom of the pan because it's going to start burning. So you guys hear that sizzle? I know you do. So this is getting a nice crust on the bottom. So now I'm going to start opening it up a little bit and breaking it up a tiny bit. The bottom of this meat right now should have a little bit of a nice crust on it. So I'm going to cut it apart so I can flip it in sections. We're going to brown this pink part off in a second. There we go. See, it's got some nice brown on it, some nice char on the bottom. Some nice brownness. There we go. That's what we're looking for, guys. Right there, that little bit of brownness. And as I'm digging in, I'm turning. Dig, turn, dig, turn, dig, turn. I mean, these probably aren't the most ladylike type of examples, but dig and turn is just what I know. So there we go, down turn. That's going to start breaking up some of the meat. You don't have to work so hard later. Cutting it up, hurting your back. See, this meat's starting to brown up. Now you don't want to put the onion back in until the meat's pretty much browned. That's when I want to start cutting the onion back in. Next, tablespoon of spice for this side. There we go. And you see it's slowly but surely it's starting to break apart, starting to get to the next level of spices. Next, 1 more tablespoon of spice dump right here. And that's all that's going to go in the meat. And I will be putting the rest of the seasoning into the sauce itself. Now at this point, you see all your meat is brown. You're going to want to turn it down to about a 4. So about a low medium. So not low, but not medium, in between, 4. Now, we are at a point where we're going to add the onion and garlic mixture that's been resting right back in here. Right back in this pool of flavor deliciousness. Get all that onion in there. Perfect. We're going to mix this back in together so the meat can cook with the onion. Alright guys, the onions, the garlic, the meat, it's all incorporated in together right now. So, the next step we're going to do, we're getting there guys. 1 can of tomato sauce, the organic tomato sauce. It is not seasoned. There's the first can, here's the second can, and here's the third can. So once you got all the sauce in here, you're going to want to stir this together and get this meat mixed in. Deliciousness. Oh, you guys, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. The last thing we have to put in is the rest of this spice mixture. So what's left of it, I'm going to measure it out. So 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. 3 tablespoons. About 2.5, 3 tablespoons. So if you have that left at the end of your spice mixture to put in your sauce, you've measured it properly. So 2.5 to 3 tablespoons is what was left. So now this mixture, this spice mixture, is intended for the sauce. So now this is going to flavor the sauce. Now, if you guys are mushroom fans or olive fans, feel free to add in chopped up mushroom or olives or zucchini. If you like other stuff in your sauce besides onion and garlic, feel free. Have at it. The more vegetables, the merrier, the better you feel. I'm all about it. I just didn't have any other vegetables in the house to put in here. So you're going to put this all in. Make sure you mix it up really well. The worst thing is having any spice chunks in your sauce. That would be gross. So, alright guys, at this point we have everything in our sauce mix. Our meat sauce mix is on a 4 right now. So I'm going to let this stay on a 4 till I see a tiny bit of bubbles come up here, and then I'm going to open it up, stir it for a second, I'm going to cover it, put it down to low, and I'm going to let it simmer. Now, the important thing to remember when how long you need the sauce to simmer. To me, the longer the better. I mean, up to like 6 hours I think is good for me personally. I've done it a little longer, and I felt the meat texture wasn't as good, but I feel like up to 6 you can do it. On the minimum I would have this sauce simmer is 2 hours, to be honest. If you don't have time, that's fine, but 2 hours is going to give it a very bold, rich flavor and have all the flavors mesh together very nicely. So the only thing I will do next is take a little taste test and see if I need to add a little bit of garlic salt or regular salt more. Some people love salt, some people don't like salt or can't have it as much due to health issues or concerns, or they're just looking out for their sodium intake. So it's important to salt to your own taste. And if you're cooking for a lot of people, I don't like to over salt because people can always add. There we go. What? It's got a steam bubble, man. That's got a steam bubble. So like I said, it's on a 4. It's got a steam bubble. I'm going to stir this. I'm going to stir this up. And then I'm going to cover it and put it on low. And I'm going to make sure and come and check this pan every 20 minutes and stir it to make sure all the bottom comes to the top and the top goes to the bottom, so we can make sure everything's cooked evenly and everything has great flavor. I'll put a little close-up so you guys can see how beautiful the sauce is. Oh yeah. Yep. Money moves. Money moves. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah, that's good. That's perfect. It doesn't even need any more salt right now. So I'm just going to cover this, and every 20 minutes I will come stir it, recover it, and in 2 hours, guys, I'm going to show you what this is going to look like. One thing you want to look for, the best thing I think that you definitely need to look for that I do, is you can see the color right now is it's a certain color. So if you look at the sauce, it's a certain brightness. When it's done, when the sauce is completely done, it's going to look more a deeper color of a richer red, a darker red, like a little bit darker than this, not so bright. So that's when I really know it's done, is when the color changes. And I'm going to show you what the color of this sauce looks like and what it looks like so you guys can see how delicious it is. The house is already smelling amazing. We will see you in 2 hours. Alright guys, so this sauce is at the 2-hour mark. As you can see, the sauce has cooked down, so it's not as you can see more of the meat because some of the moisture has sucked and cooked into the meat. So it's cooked down. It looks super delicious. You can see the color of it. See if you can see the color of it. Awesome. It's gotten a little bit darker, so I usually know by that it's done. You can cook it even longer. I told you you can cook it up to 6 hours with it saying super, super delicious. Right now this has got a 2-hour cook on it. We're super hungry. We're wanting to eat it. So over here you can see we have the pasta that is done and ready to go. I'll show you the brand of pasta that we're using. It's organic spaghetti. This one is not gluten-free. We use the gluten-free usually. This is what we had at home and we didn't want to go to the store, so this is what we used. It's still organic and delicious, so we're going to use this and put the sauce on top, and we'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. We're excited to show you what that looks like. Alright guys, as you can see, this is the end result product. I sprinkled a little bit of basil on top of that. As you can see, there's pasta there. There's the meat sauce, turkey meat sauce there. The turkey marinara sauce with the basil on top, with all the spices. There's so much love. When they talk about soul food, I think about love in your food. This is so much love in this food. I'm telling you right now, you cook this dish for anyone, they are going to be happy. We hope you guys enjoyed this meal. And thank you guys so much for coming to the 2 girls
1 mukbang!
recipe vlog. And we hope you enjoyed. Try it out. Let me know what you think.